Recording in progress.
Hello. Our discussion of today is on the new topic of solving equations. That's the next chapter. It's a lot related to dealing with algebraic expressions, and dealing with equations is like discussing or providing solutions for two problems. While you're taking one medicine, and it helps a lot. Now, there are so many ways of solving equations. But before we look at any of them, we will want to know, what does it mean, an equation? Well, an equation is a statement that probably two mathematical expressions are equal to each other. So if you have two mathematical expressions, okay? Let's say you have a mathematical expression. Okay, just a minute. Let this finish. Now, supposing that you have two mathematical expressions. Let's say the first mathematical expression is, say, well, 1 minus 3. That's an expression, yes. And the other expression is like negative 2x. So that will easily form an equation if you can have those two expressions equal to each other. So a statement that two mathematical expressions are equal to each other is what we call an equation. And most of the time, equations require solving. Once you see an equation, you really have to solve for the unknown. So what I said is, if you have an expression like 1 minus 3, then you have another expression like what? Minus 2x. Then an equation is formed if you can have 1 minus 3 equals to minus 2x. Solving an equation means solving for the value of the unknown quantity. Solving for the value of the unknown letter. For example, in this case, when we minus, okay, 3 from 1, okay, when we subtract, when we subtract 3 from 1, that is 1 minus 3. What do we get? We get minus 2, which we can write it on the left-hand side right away. And on the right-hand side, we already have minus what? Minus 2x. Solving for this means we must find the value for x. Finding the value of x at this stage means from what we have here, s minus 2x on the left-hand side and minus 2 on the left-hand side and minus 2x on the right-hand side. To find the value of x, we must solve, or we must simply divide. Okay, what are we going to divide? Well, we now have to divide what is on the left-hand side by what? By minus 2. And also, we divide what is on the right-hand side by minus 2. That is right-hand side and left-hand side. So also here we have minus 2. This way, we have a value of 1 on the left-hand side and what? An x on the right side. This is the solution. So an equation is formed when you have any two mathematical expressions equal to each other. That is when an equation is what? Is formed. Well, how do we then solve? Solving an equation comes in a number of ways. The first method we are going to be using in this case is called inspection. Well, to inspect is like just to check, and you find a solution from there. So what is this going to give us? Well, let's read this. 6 equations are listed in the table below. Okay, we have them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 6. Oh, we have this 5x plus 3. that they have listed 6 equations in the table. Well, let's first read the whole thing. That 6 equations are listed in the table below. Use the table to find out for which value of the given values of x will be true that the left-hand side of the equation is equal to the right-hand side of the equation, and searching for the solution of an equation by using tables is called solution by inspection. Well, now what this means here is we have these tables here. These are the different values of x. Now, if x is -3, for example, then in this substituting, that is putting -3 in this should give us -3 as the result. This is what we are trying to say. So what we are trying to do here is this, is to say that, okay, is to say if we are dealing with 2x plus 3, then if we put this value of x inside here, then we must find -3. Okay, so we say for this value of x, that is for x equals to -3, 2x plus 3 is going to be equals to 2 times x, okay, which in this case is -3, and to it we have to add what? 3. Now notice that from here we can still continue to get what? 2 times -3 is -6, which we have to add to 3. Then later we get -3. So this is to show you what really happened. Now, if x equals to -2, substituting -2 inside here would give us 1. And substituting -2 inside here would give us 2. Substituting -2 inside here would give us 11. We have the whole set, basically, of everything. They did the calculation for us. They did it that for x equals to these values here, these expressions would come when the values of x are substituted right here, then here, then this way, then like this, you see? So if the values of x are substituted in this, then this is what we are going to be getting. Now the question is, what would be the solution that would ensure that the left-hand side of A, okay, so because A on the left-hand side we have what? 2x plus 3, and on the right-hand side what do we have? We have 5x plus 3. So what value of x would ensure that on the left-hand side what we get is the same as what we have on the right-hand side? Now you know what that is going to do? Well, let's first highlight this. Okay, just this. Then let's also do what? Let's also I highlight what is on the other side, which is right here. Oh, okay. I just want to highlight both, but since it looks like highlighting both may not work, let me just, you know, put something which is going to help with the, you know, kind of drawing. Yes, something like this. All right, let's do this. So this is what we have. Now, this is what we have, and we have this one here. You see, for the first equation. Now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Yes. All right. So, okay. Let me remove this. Okay, and do it again. Right. So notice that this is what we have on the left-hand side. Okay, then this is what we have where? On the right-hand side of the first equation. I'm talking about equation what? Equation A. 2x plus 3 and 5x plus 3. Inspection method here means we have to look for the value of x, which would make the solution here the same as that. Well, let's see one value. Okay, let's see which value of x would make one value here equals to that. So we check, this is minus 3, this is minus 12. They're not the same. This negative 7, this is negative 8. They are not the same. You see, we are talking about this. In fact, I'm going to highlight it again. Yes, we are talking about the whole of this. And now we want to compare it with that. What value do we have inside the rectangle I created up there, which is equals to this? You see, here we have 3 and here we have 3. So this is what we are dealing with. So it's going to be 3 and 3. Well, what is that supposed to mean? That is supposed to mean the solution to this equation here is x equals to 0. X equals to 0. That is the solution using this method of inspection. Okay, that is using the method of what? Inspection. Now we move to the second question, which is what? The second question is B. 5x plus 3 on one side, 9 minus x on the other side. Well, let's see. So 5x plus 3 on one side, this is what we are dealing with. And 9, okay, this is the equation we are talking about now. We are on B. And on the other side, we have 9 minus x. Yes, 9 minus x. So the question is, where do we have the same value for this solution, which is also the same as what we have here? So we check, this is 12, this is negative 12. They are not the same. 11, negative 7, they are not the same. 3, 2, not the same. 4, 3, not the same. Is it 4? No, 9, not 4. Then 8, 8. Yes, they are the same. You see, this one here. This is the same as that. Okay? So, what would be the value of x? The value of x for this question is x equals to 1. By the way, let's write it down. For the first one, we got that the value of x equals to 0. So we say, for this activity here, well, just first remove this thing. All right. So for this question here, for this question, let's call it activity 1. For activity 1, okay, for activity 1, part A, which is this one, we found out that the value of x is equal to what? The value of x is equal to 0 by method of inspection. Now, what is going to be our answer for activity 1? activity 1 part B. Yes. Now for activity 1 part B is this one. So what do we do? Well, let's first get it right inside. So we transfer it right inside here. So for activity 1 part B, this is what we have. So what's the value of x? Well, the value of x is 8. So by inspection, by a method of inspection, just remove this first. Let me first erase this. It's crowding my space too much. Yeah, for this. All right, x equals to 8. So we say, let's go away. All right, so here we say x, here x equals to 8. The method is, it's a method of what? Inspection. So the next is activity. Activity what? The next is activity 1 part C. So for activity 1 part C, what are we going to have? Well, activity 1 part C is this question here. So what do we do? Well, let's first have it on our answer board. The board for the answer right away, like this. Now, we would like to find the value of x. Let's check. So on the left hand side, we have 2x plus 3. Let's highlight it just a little bit so that it's easy for us to see. So we are going to draw some things around it, just a little bit. So we have 2x plus 3. Where do we have 2x plus 3? 2x plus 3 is right here. So we are dealing with this. And we are also dealing with x plus 4. Where is x plus 4? X plus 4 is right here. So I guess this is going to be a little bit easy for us to see. These two are not the same. 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 Yes. So the value for x is going to be 1, for which these expressions have got the same value. So x equals to 1. And that's what we write. So here x equals to what? To 1. Now we go to activity what? Activity 1 part D. Now for activity 1 part D, let's see. Let's see what happened to activity 1 part D. First of this. So for activity 1 part D, we are now first erasing this. So for activity 1 part D, what are we dealing with? Well, activity 1 part D, this is what we are dealing with. Activity 1 part D, we are dealing with this. 10x minus 7, where is it? It's right here. Then what else do we have? 5x plus 3, where is it? It's right here. Oh, this is also going to be easy for us to see. So now what is our task? Well, our task now is to find the values that are the same. Oh, it's right here. These ones are the same, okay? There is 13 there, 13 there. So that means the value of x, the value of x for which these expressions have got the same value is our solution. So we say, well, now we got it. We can erase with is. We got it here. The value of x is 2, 13, 13. Okay, so there we go. So activity D, well, what's activity D? Activity D is right here. Yes. Okay, so this is activity D. Now, this activity D, From it, we are supposed to find the value of x. And we got x to be what? We got x to be, let me check again. X to be 2, yes. And so that is the what? That is the solution. Like that. This method is called inspection. Now for activity E, activity 1 part E, what is the question? The question is this. Okay, so from this question, what we are supposed to do is to find the value of what? The value of x. So let's check. 3x minus 2 is right here, and x plus 4. X plus 4 is up. So let me just put something just to help us with the, I could put this color. Let's see. We are dealing with what? Activity E. So activity E is this one here. No, not this. This one is not going to help us. Let's just draw. Activity E is this. 3x minus 2 right here. Or the color is, let's look for better color. Blue is fine, yes. So this is what we are dealing with. Then x plus 4 right here. So we have to look for what? The values that are the same here and also there. So we check this is not the same as that. These two are not the same, just like this. Also, these are not the same. These are not the same, okay? These ones are the same, okay? So this one here is the same as that one. And so the value of x for this question is 3. Okay, this is the value of x. So what do? We can now go and transfer it on our board where we are writing. Okay, so when we do that, we say for this activity E, the answer, the value of x is 3. Okay, activity E, the value for x equals 3. And lastly is what? Activity 1 part F. Yes, activity 1 part F is right here. Activity 1 part F here. So we want to find the value of x by inspection. So what's going to be the value of x? Well, we have 9 minus x. Let's first deal with that. 9 minus x. 9 minus x. Where is 9 minus x? 9 minus x is right here, and the other value is, rather the other expression is 2x plus 3. So there we go. This is 2x plus 3. Well, from here, what we are supposed to do, let's check the values of the expressions that are the same. Well, this is very much like we did it. So we also have here 9 minus x and 2x plus 3, yes, and here the value of the expressions are the same at this point. When what? When x equals to 2. So we say x equals to 2. So the solution is x equals to 2. That's the value of x. And this leads us to the end of our discussion of this method of solving what? Solving for x. You know, it's not only solving for x, but solving the equation. So there are many methods. We have seen the first one being what? Being inspection. The second method, which will be in the second lesson, our second method is going to be solving for x using additive and multiplicative inverses. Now, that should be for next time. Let's not get into it. This is for next time. Additive and multiplicative inverses. That's going to be our next task. Now, I'm going to organize for you an activity to do based on this first method. And please make sure you do it. And as soon as you are done, you submit your solution right away.